On the longest episode of The Sopranos ever, the rocky marriage between Tony Soprano and Carmela. It's over in Whitecaps, episode 52 overall, which shows you how far we're actually getting into The Sopranos here. But it was a runtime of 75 minutes. The episode attracted 12.5 million viewers, and it's regarded by multiple critics as one of the best of this series. Welcome back to Fog Entertainment.
It was definitely a knockout for the Tony Soprano marriage, finished, beat, over.
And we put it up for a poll whose fault it was, but we'll talk about it more throughout this episode. That is pretty much the main focus, right? It's Carmela and Tony splitting up. Of course, Irina makes a phone call, reveals to Carmela that her one-legged cousin slept with Tony, and that was the final straw for Carmela. Not the millions of hookers and whores. It was the one-legged woman who, yes, she's got one leg, right? But she's actually decent. A decent person. But it just shows you how, narrow-minded Carmela is, that's the person, that's the straw that broke the camel's back.
Was it not also factor in the fact... But then again, I'm pretty sure the house was phoned before by Tony's women. Did Irene not phone the house before?
Yeah, but I don't think she spoke to AJ, which that seemed to piss Carmela off.
She definitely spoke to Carmela.
Yeah. But
yeah, I think I did piss her off, but like you said, I've got a funny feeling it's more than one leg thing. That was what kind of pushed her over the line.
That was what pushed her over the line, and Tony trying to buy a house down at the Whitecaps beach. That went out the window this episode because, yeah, this happened. Tony drives home, he's buzzing. It's like the happiest I've seen Tony in probably ever on the show. He's singing, "You do my dirty work," and then what happens? His golf stuff's getting wung out, his house coats are getting wung out the top window. He's driving over them. He's like, what the fuck is going on? You've got a bit of a fist fight here between him and Carmela. Well, I say a fist fight. She's the one's throwing haymakers. He's blocking them all. She's greeting. I thought it was a good performance for both of them. Here, what I would say is, are
we getting another Tony Soprano panic attack around the corner?
We could be, but as questionable and as overrated as I think this show is, I don't think you can question the acting ability of James Gandolfini.
No, a good actor, great actor.
He delivers. He warrants his couple of million an episode, I'd say. Now, apparently, I don't know if this is true, but he used to walk about with stones in his shoe to get him pissed off for scenes. Thoughts on that?
That's commitment.
That is commitment.
I'm not sure that's the one thing I would personally think of if I wanted to try and get myself pissed off. Walk about with stones in my shoes, but...
What would you do? But it would agitate you, so it's smart, it's unique. But I mean, we're probably talking about boulders that would disturb this fat cunt, so not little pebbles. But anyway, Christopher, he's used to injecting stones into him. He's out of rehab. He's no longer on the gear, but he's not allowed to drink.
Not allowed to drink, he doesn't really want to be around people that's drinking. That's it.
That's pretty much it for Chris. Do you think he'll stay sober to the end of this show?
Well, he does cancel the attack, I guess.
Well, he does, but that's nothing to do with his sobriety, does it? Though?
No, I think he stayed sober to the end of season 4, but he'll be back on it. He'll be
Stayed it sober. He came back out of rehab this episode.
Aye.
It'd been pretty shite if he fell off the wagon.
Yeah, he was tasked with the kill for
Carmine Liberazzi.
Carmine, the old man that's
Senior.
got to go. He gives the black guys, two of them, the job of doing it. But when Tony says, "Nah, look, we're not going to head with it anymore," Chris has to cancel the killing, and at first we're led to believe that he just gives them the money anyway, but no, two of Chris's guys come out execution style, boom 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 boom. The shooting scenes in The Sopranos are so fucking unrealistic. I mean, they shot this guy and he's coming out the front seat, jumping and diving and then ballerina dances, I mean, trying to escape. What the hell? I remember in season 1 when those two black guys tried to shoot Tony with orange juice. Why are the gun scenes so bad in this series?
Yeah, but people would argue they're realistic.
I get people will say, "Oh, it was before its time." I don't care. Come on, there was action movies in the 80s and 70s, man, with guns.
Yeah, this is 2002. Come on, Trips. I can't.
There's no excuse.
No, there ain't an excuse.
See if this was the 60s or something. I mean, maybe. But look how many all-time great fucking movies we've seen with guns shooting at.
But what I would say is, I think there is. I think the scene in the woods when Chris and Polly are chasing that guy, Valerie, that is a good scene. But then you've got the scene where Chris and Polly are chasing Mikey in the woods, And it's fucking cringy, the way they're shooting him. Like, he's pure flinging the gun towards him.
Yeah, but they seem to do that every shot I see.
Yeah, it's debatable, at least. I mean, I don't understand why they do it, but they do it. Anyway, these two guys are killed. Carmine will live to see another day. Talking of another old bastard, Junior, he gets his trial, what do you call it? What's the terminology? Thrown out.
Adjured?
Mistrial, that's the one we're looking for. So yeah, he's free to go. What I never got though here is like, considering he's free to go, is that not him based? Could he not just return and be like, right, Tony, I'm top man again. Fuck off.
I don't think he's got not for me. Sure, he's lucky to be breathing.
He is, but I mean, it's
Tony essentially cut my deal.
It's dead and buried though.
Aye, but the deal's been made.
I think if Junior could get enough guys in his camp again, he could make a move.
You think he'd do that to Tony after?
I don't think he would, but I think he could if he could.
I think he knows that he's lucky to still be breathing.
Yeah, that's probably the truth. But again, the guy who they threatened, right, to constantly say not guilty, is like talking to one of the women's. Oh, ring me when your grandchild is born. She looks at him in disgust. I won't be ringing your kind, because obviously he kept voting not guilty for Junior in the juror thing. But it's like, did this guy not realise in these discussions that these people would fucking hate him? Why is he trying to act all pally-pally with them as soon as the verdict's been found?
Yeah, I mean, this guy's
what the height of delusion.
This guy's just allowed a killer to walk free, and he's wondering why no one likes him.
Nobody likes me anymore. But yeah, we've got more Tony and Carmela stuff. He essentially gets kicked out of the house, but he refuses to, so he moves into like the movie room at the back. AJ says he wants to move in. We see how it's affecting the kids. Polly actually backs up Tony and turns around and says that, you know what, Tony? I feel sorry for you. Carmela should be the one out in her arse. You should be the one in that house. You're the one that paid it. But obviously, Polly's the only guy without a family and a wife. So, as much as I think Polly is right, it's just not the American thing to do, is it?
No.
To put the wife at the house, even though Tony would be well within his fucking rights. But he's not going to do it. They're constantly slabbering to each other. She tells him to move some chairs. He gets out. He's like, you know why? I like the one with one leg because I could actually talk to her. And she's like, well, you know what? I had fantasies of Furio. And Tony's like, what? Then he starts punching the fucking wall beside her. And it's like...
But no, I don't get, right? I don't get a shite. Like, because you get Andrew Tate and he'll be like, oh, well, the man can sleep with 200 people and it doesn't matter. But if the wife sleeps with one person, it's done, right? I don't really buy that. Like, how can Tony really be pissed here with the amount of women he's slept with, right? And the amount of times he's cheated on Carmela? How can he be pissed off? I get it, maybe he feels a bit hurt or whatever, but I mean, all Carmela did was fantasize about Furio. Technically hasn't been unfaithful. And if Tony didn't, like, have no love for her, like, then she probably wouldn't feel that way in the first place.
Yeah, it's very hypocritical.
If Tony was a good husband and actually cared and wanted to spend time... Here, and I'm not blaming it all on Tony, because I don't think she's the easiest person to be around, but, like, you could argue that the reason she began to develop feelings for Furio was because of Tony's actions and the lack of his, like, romance and, you know, effort he put into the relationship. But I don't see how that was almost... Carmela threw that back at Tony as if it was like oh, we're even now.
Aye. And it's like, no, you're just not.
Not like an Uno reverse card or something like, you know? It's like...
I will defend Tony to a degree, because he calls out Carmela and he says, you know what the mob's about? With the Gumar thing, you knew what you signed up for, so why the fuck are you moaning about it now, like 2 decades later? And he's got a point.
No, he has.
Like, Carmela, throughout this show, is constantly called out Tony for what he does, but has no complaints reeling in the money.
Well, their only complaints have really been there's not enough money coming in at times.
Yeah. But Tony's right, but again, it is hypocritical, right? Because how can he be pissed off about Furio, but be alright sleeping around? I mean, the only thing you could argue is that
you could say
if Carmela did anything with Furio, he's actually a member of Tony's crew. And maybe it's a bit more personal than random women that Carmela will never meet, even if they do ring the house the odd time. Regardless, though, enough is enough. Tony decides it's a toxic environment. I'm going to leave. AJ and Meadow are upset about this. Meadow gets like flashbacks where she was ungrateful living in the house, starts crying. AJ doesn't have a fucking brain cell in between his head, so he doesn't really know what's going on.
Seen that bored.
Tony then drives away really slowly. We then cut to the lawyer who is like refusing to give him the 200,000 deposit back for the house, and Benny and little Polly are just playing speakers outside of this guy's house, and it's like this generic thing. Oh, thank you, New York. I mean, I thought it was funny, but to end the fucking season, it just seems bizarre.
Yeah, I mean, come on, really? Everything that's happened, and we're going to end it with this boat just playing music?
Yeah. It's the Sopranos to a T. It's
Sopranos special.
Like this guy, right, closing his doors because the music's being played too loud outside of his boathouse is to end the season. And bear in mind, right, there was a 2-year wait to the next season after this. What?
You could argue that's not episode ending worthy, never mind season ending worthy.
Yeah, man. Like, here, I thought the drama in this episode, oh, they're going to whack Carmine and the whole split between Tony and Carmella.
Yeah, speaking about being whacked, is Irene not going to get whacked?
Arena?
Because she's just fucked Tony's marriage. And I don't think Tony really cares about his marriage. I think he's more bothered about, like, the reputation. It's considered, like, disgraceful for the Italian couple to be separated.
Copy? What are they, a dog or something?
I don't know. But, I think it's more the reputation thing where he's going to look, he's got divorced for his wife.
No, absolutely.
And then it's almost like seen as his kids are like going to be looked down upon. Oh, your parents have been divorced and all this shit. So I would have to imagine that Tony will be. Yeah, we know he did go kind of looking for Irina, but he didn't find her. But is that it? Is he just going to give up that easily?
Looks that way. We'll have to wait and see, guys. We bit of a time skip going into season 4. But anyway, guys, leave your thoughts down below. I'm going to give this episode I'm going to get a 7. I thought the acting was really good, but again, it's the Sopranos, right? If they actually delivered on a good ending, I would boost this episode up by a couple of points to put it in Soprano talk, but honestly, the ending's so lackluster. It's so bad.
Yeah, the ending was disappointing, but the episode was good. I'll also get a 7. I enjoyed it. Don't think it's the best episode of the series so far. Definitely not. For me, there's been a few episodes actually this season better than this one. But it was good. I'd say it was probably one of the better episodes of this season, but not the best for me.
Fair enough, guys. Anyway, 7 out of 10. Till season 5. Peace.